This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 16th day of April in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. 2 months after a Venezuelan Navy vessel invaded Guyana's waters, China has floated the idea of the age-old border controversy between Guyana and Venezuela being resolved through friendly consultations and negotiations. The Guyana government has already stated that it will have no further talks with Venezuela on the controversy, as the country has repeatedly violated the interim order of the International Court and the 2023 Argyle Agreement between the presidents of the two countries. Historically, China has had an impartial stance, offering little comment on the controversy, which birthed out of Venezuela's claims to more than two-thirds of Guyana's territory on the basis that the 1899 arbitral award is null and void, a claim that Guyana has rejected as false. Guyana has since moved to the International Court of Justice, asking the World Court to confirm the validity of the 1899 arbitral award. At the press conference today at the Chinese embassy here in Georgetown, the deputy chief of mission at the embassy, Huang Roy, when asked about the recent incursion by the Venezuelan Coast Guard and the border controversy, said the controversy should be resolved through friendly consultations and negotiations.
So for that one, I think so the position on that issue, that is the border issue, is very clear, and we hope and we think Guyana and also Venezuela government can find they can solve the issue through negotiations, and we hope they can solve the border issue through friendly consultation and negotiations.
In recent times, Venezuela has issued decrees and laws purporting to annex and incorporate Guyana's Essequibo. Those moves have been fully rejected by Guyana. In January, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro announced that Venezuela will conduct elections in Guyana's Essequibo region. The Chinese deputy chief of mission said China remains committed to respecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations, and as such has steered clear of intervening in any country's internal affairs.
So if you actually follow up the Chinese foreign policies, all those policies, as long as possible, you will see, first of all, we never intervene in the internal affairs of any nation. And then the second principle is we actually respect all nations' sovereignty and territorial integrity.
CNOOC, a state-owned oil company in China, holds a 25% working interest in the Stabroek Block, located offshore Guyana. It was within that very block that the incursion by Venezuela took place. Unlike China, other world superpowers, including the US and France, have not only condemned the incursion, but have also supported Guyana's move to have the controversy resolved at the International Court and preserve its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Last month, during a visit to Guyana, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio issued a strong warning to Venezuela, telling the Spanish-speaking country that were it to ever attack Guyana or the assets of U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil, there will be serious consequences. Exxon is the lead operator in the Stabroek Block with a 45% interest, while Hess, the third operator in the block, has a 30% working interest. Rubio said the U.S. remains a partner of Guyana and will stand by Guyana's side, adding that the U.S. government will not allow any illegitimate threats of a territorial claim by Venezuela against Guyana. Guyana has also received the backing of CARICOM, the Commonwealth, and the Organization of American States, among other multilateral partners and international organizations. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories, that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Linden! It's big people time again. Go Mosley Entertainment presents the official Linden Town Week Big People Party. Big Oman Gasha Things. On Wednesday the 30th of April at the Mackenzie Bandstand with one-man bands Super Ray, Errol, and Murphy, plus a one-woman band Queen Diva and DJs Killer Miller, Water Dog, and Bad Boys. The next day is a holiday, so party the night away all night on the 30th of April at the Mackenzie Bandstand. Get your early tickets from Shemaine's Bar in the Mackenzie Market, Professor Cuts and Retrieve, Barnes Taxi, and Dominique's Top-Up Shop on Republic Avenue. The Linden Town Week Big People Party 2025. Big One Gasha Things. Compliments of One Communications, Banks Beer, Guinness, XM Rums, 592 Teas, Fireside Grill, and Sheriff Security. Please drink responsibly.
She said, take it easy, I will do it all. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Looking for a new ride? Then check out the all-new Honda HR-V at Marex. When you buy a new vehicle, it's 0 miles, 0 worries. Plus, you get awesome features that will make your ride smooth and comfortable. The HR-V interior design has controls at your fingertip with great space and maneuverability. The all-new Honda HR-V is a beauty. Drive one today. Visit our website or call us on 226-1482 to learn more. Buy your brand new Honda vehicle from Marex, the home of Honda in Guyana.
Welcome back. Well, one day after the new One Guyana oil production vessel sailed into Guyana's waters to join the other 3 FPSOs operating in the Stabroek Block, the Venezuelan government has protested the arrival of the vessel in Guyana and the country's ongoing development of its oil resources. The new vessel is expected to boost oil production by more than 250,000 barrels of oil per day, eventually taking the total daily oil production level to 900,000 barrels. In a statement today, Venezuela said it categorically rejects the arrival and the eventual operation of the FPSO in the Stabroek Block, stating that it is an illegal action that is taking place in an area that it continues to claim. The oil vessels are all operating within Guyana's waters. Venezuela continues with its claim of Guyana's Essequibo and only recently faced international condemnation following that incursion by a Venezuelan Navy vessel in Guyana's waters near the oil ships. But according to the Venezuelan government, the maneuver promoted by the Guyana government in alliance with ExxonMobil constitutes a violation of fundamental principles of international law. According to Venezuela, that law obliges Venezuela to refrain from adopting unilateral measures in areas without agreed delamination. Venezuela says by persisting in the conduct, Guyana demonstrates open disregard for international law and for the commitments assumed in the Argyle Agreement of 2023. Venezuela has repeatedly threatened Guyana's territorial integrity with its claims of Guyana's territory. It has also flouted an interim order of the International Court and the Argyle Agreement. However, as Guyana continues to develop its oil resources, the government of Venezuela is threatening legal action. The government of Venezuela said it does not recognize any concession granted in the space and warns the companies involved that they are subject to legal action and their rights will not be recognized. Venezuela said it remains committed to peace and will not accept provocation. Guyana's right to exploit resources offshore and in particular in the Essequibo region have been respected by all multinational agencies and the international community. Guyana has also accused Venezuela of ongoing acts of provocation. U.S. Congressman Rick Crawford will lead a U.S. Congressional delegation to Guyana to meet with government and business leaders, the U.S. Embassy announced today. The meetings are expected to examine areas of mutual cooperation. The embassy did not name the other members of the delegation and has also not provided details about the visit. But news source understands that the visit could take place within the coming days. It will be the first visit of a U.S. congressional delegation to Guyana since the Donald Trump administration took office in January and follows closely on the heels of the recent visit to Guyana and the Caribbean by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. During his visit to Guyana, Secretary Rubio noted Guyana's economic growth and transformation, describing Guyana as one of the most exciting places to be right now. President Irfan Ali during that visit also noted the close relations shared between Guyana and the U.S., describing the U.S. as one of Guyana's greatest partners. Since that visit, the U.S. government has imposed reciprocal tariffs on a number of countries, including Guyana. While Guyanese goods being exported to the U.S. face an initial 38% tariff rate, the U.S. government has since announced a 90-day pause on the tariffs and a lower rate of 10% for most countries. Still, local manufacturers and exporters are bracing themselves for the impact when those tariffs take effect. That issue is likely to form part of the discussions with the U.S. delegation when it engages the government of Guyana and the local business community. The National Grade 6 Assessment Examinations began today with some 15,813 students writing the exams in private and public schools across the country. According to the timetable published by the Education Ministry, the grade 6 pupils first wrote English papers 1 and 2 during the morning session, followed by science papers 1 and 2 this afternoon. At the Winford Gardens Primary School, excitement filled the air as the pupils completed their English assessment. One child told news source that the exam had both easy and difficult questions, but she was prepared, having studied extensively.
Well, it went very good. I like all the questions. I was able to answer it. And it went very well. Study all the time. And my father liked to give me studying during the evening and during the morning. So early this morning I was studying and I had all the questions. I think I have all the questions right because I was able to answer it and it was very easy to do.
She said she spent many nights preparing for the exams with the support of her parents. Over at Green Acres, pupils there shared similar sentiments. Elizabeth Harris, one of the grade 6 pupils, said she's aiming for the Bishop's High School.
Well, based on the questions, I think I did good, but I don't know it yet.
What school you
Bishop's High School.
Another child, Levon Williams, also expressed those same sentiments.
Based on the type of questions, I think I did pretty good.
The NGSA exams will continue tomorrow with mathematics and social studies.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. If you have moved to a new address since you were registered, you are required to update your address by applying for a transfer to ensure your registration details are accurate. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to apply for a transfer. You can apply to have your address updated during this national registration exercise. You can visit the GCOM registration offices Monday to Thursday from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 16 hours 30, and Friday from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Well, on the man, Slingers Family Entertainment presents their 24th anniversary celebration called Casa Forever on Easter Monday, April 21st at the Lenora Stadium, featuring a live performance from the Galdem president, Marley Dunn.
Mind up, see a creep, love my gal X-rated spend.
Marley Dunn.
Them inside is panic, got them outside.
Marley Dunn.
Basics, panic, all and it can't stop.
Also out of the Gaza camps, Little Vibes, the Galdem Lemonade,
Fresh Lemonade,
and Little Addy, the man of the Mac.
Man of the match down, send him money now, you're the cash for hands on. What's it like that you get it from?
And also the therapist himself, Chronic Law.
The badness upgrade long time. I'm Mary James, I carry the
Chronic Law.
Take me number, she don't get no car.
Chronic Law.
Who can this my dog and survive?
The event is powered by Eldorado Rum and Pepsi.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Need small appliance for your kitchen? Giftland have it. Need fridge or stove? Giftland have it. Speakers or laptop? Giftland have it. I'm telling you, Giftland have everything. And don't get me started on TVs. 58-inch, 65-inch, 70-inch, 75-inch. All sizes in leading brands. Best thing about it, they give warranty. Man, Giftland is the place for all your electronics purchases.
Washi. Hi people, washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washi me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have me clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of my drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana Bartica Regatta 2025 is here and is bigger than ever. On Sunday, April 20th, witness high-speed powerboat action at Golden Beach featuring the best in the game, Randy Bell, Dave Scott and Team Shivraj battling for glory. Easter Saturday, the stage is set for the dazzling Miss Regatta pageant and the electrifying mega show featuring Lady Lava, Calvin Burnett, Freedom Boss, and many more. Don't miss Easter Monday grand finale with beach parties, football, and non-stop vibes. This event is powered by Bartica Regatta Committee, Government of Guyana, BK International Group of Companies, G Mining Ventures, ETK Inc., Banks DIH, One Communications, and Ansi McCall.
The Chinese embassy here in Georgetown today said China will spare no effort to promote high-quality development in Guyana as the country embarks on major transformation and development. At a press conference at the embassy here in Georgetown, China's Deputy Chief of Mission, Huang Roy, said since China and Guyana established relations back in 1972, Beijing has remained a reliable partner and friend, and remains committed to the development of Guyana as it undergoes social and economic transformation.
Since we established diplomatic relations more than 50 years ago, and China has been a reliable partner and friend of Guyana. Guyana also. So it's two-way street, not one-way. And since actually, especially recently, under the leadership of President Ali, Guyana has launched the biggest economic and social transformation. And as partner and friend of Guyana, we participated fully.
According to the Deputy Chief of Mission at the Chinese Embassy, there are currently 18 medium to large-scale Chinese companies operating in the country, aiding its development through various projects. Those companies, he said, employ more than 2,600 Chinese workers and more than 3,000 Guyanese workers. The medium to large-scale companies complement a pool of small-scale Chinese companies and businesses that are also present in Guyana.
Now we not only provide the hardware, let's say we help Guyana to build roads, build bridges, and build airports. And also we not only those hardware, but also software.
Sinuk, China's state-owned oil company, which has a 25% working interest in the Stabroek oil block, is among the Chinese company operating here. China's Deputy Chief of Mission said around 50% of the people working for Sinuk in Guyana are Guyanese. However, together with their co-partners in the Stabroek block, the company has aided in the employment of thousands of Guyanese.
Up to the end of last year, that is 2024, the project of Stabroek block participated or developed, co-developed by Sinuk. They produced more than 6,000 jobs for local people. So that is local force dominant, or the percentage of local force is around 70% of the total workers who are employed by the oil and gas industry.
He said through the Ministry of Natural Resources, Sinuk has provided a total of 20 scholarships for Guyanese to pursue their studies in the field of oil and gas during the period 2023 to 2027. The company, he said, has developed around 50 projects and has also invested more than $2 million. In addition to energy and education, Sinuk also provides support in the areas of security and the development of indigenous communities. China Railway Construction Caribbean Company is another Chinese company operating here. That company is building the new $260 million bridge across the Demerara River. While assuring that the project will be completed in August, the Deputy Chief of Mission said the company has employed more than 700 persons to construct the bridge. The workers, he noted, are working around the clock.
Up to now, they already trained around 25 engineers, not workers, Guyanese engineers, and also around actually more than 300 Guyanese skilled workers. and they have the business cooperation with local suppliers. With more than 100 local suppliers, they have a very good and seamless cooperation, and they created directly or indirectly job opportunities. That is more than 1,500 job opportunities for the local.
The official also used the opportunity to dismiss claims by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio that a road on which he drove on while in Guyana that almost gave him a concussion was built by a Chinese company. The Deputy Chief of Mission said China is not in the business of pointing fingers or calling out companies. He said contrary to the narrative peddled by the U.S. Secretary of State, China has helped Guyana to build many high-quality roads and will continue to do so. Well, the Guyana Defense Force brought out its helicopter and a recently acquired Bambi bucket today to assist with the dousing of that fire at the sawmill dump site at Amelia's Ward in Linden. One day after the situation was declared a disaster by the government of Guyana. The fire has been burning for the past week. Prime Minister Mark Phillips, who visited the scene yesterday, told the radio station in Linden that while the fire has been largely contained, work still has to be done to minimize further spread and to eliminate smoke from the area. He said a number of agencies have been working together to return the situation there to normalcy.
What we're going to do now is continue our efforts to suppress the smoke, because the smoke is affecting the people who live in proximity to the location of the fire. Right? So, from government standpoint, we treat this as a disaster. It's a man-made disaster, not a natural disaster, but nevertheless it's a disaster. And
the Guyana Fire Service is yet to determine the cause of the fire. But in the meantime, the Civil Defense Commission, the GDF, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the Environmental Protection Agency, along with stakeholders, including the sawmill owners, are supporting the efforts to ensure the fire remains around that zone and is contained. The area has about 10 sawmills. The Prime Minister said the government will spare no effort in bringing relief to affected citizens.
I want to add that the work is ongoing. We've effectively contained the fire, as you heard from all these people before, and we've already started pouring water into the area because water is used to suppress the effect of the smoke and also to help in eventually out in the fire, right? So we've already made some decisions on the ground. Guywa is on board, right? The fire service and the sawmill operators. So what is going to happen is that they're going to be trucking water and pouring water over the area.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, retired Colonel Nazrul Hussain, noted that due to the impact of the fire, the CDC has identified several shelters in the region for persons to stay while normalcy returns. He noted, however, that persons are reluctant to move, citing security concerns, and they have opted to remain in their homes.
But we're working with the community because since Friday, we noted a reluctance for them to evacuate because of security and safety measures. But we are encouraging them to, because school is out, and it's holidays, for the children to move to other areas during the day.
Prime Minister Mark Phillips said if the smoke situation worsens, then persons will have to evacuate the area until the situation is completely under control. A submission by the chairman of the International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana, Vincent Alexander, to a UN forum that Afro-Guyanese continue to be systematically marginalized is not sitting well with the Attorney General of Guyana, Anil Nandlal. During his weekly issues in the news broadcast last evening, Mr. Nandlal fired off at Mr. Alexander, saying that his contributions at the UN forum were flawed and misleading. When Mr. Alexander addressed the fourth session of the Permanent Forum on People of African Descent on Monday, he said the current Guyana government has taken no equitable action to address the state of people of African descent in the country. But the Attorney General differs from that position, and he stated that the Afro-Guyanese are now better off under his government.
If a forensic audit is ever done, it will reveal that Afro-Guyanese currently are better off than they have ever been in the history of Guyana now. And I say that without any fear of being contradicted successfully. And I invite any debate to this effect. And you can start on education. More Afro-Guyanese are pursuing education now than at any other point in time in Guyana's history.
To back up his point, the Attorney General pointed to more Afro-Guyanese now receiving cash grants and other forms of welfare grants from the government. He said the state has also created the environment for Afro-Guyanese to have their own house lots and properties. Mr. Nandlal said both the PPP and the APNU-AFC have been empowered during the UN-declared International Decade for People of African Descent from 2015 to 2024. And by comparison, he noted the PPP has done more to advance the decade.
Why did he not tell the United Nations that half of the decade his party was in government and outlined to the United Nations what his party did for Afro-Guyanese? That is what him and his confederates who are present with him should have done at the United Nations.
But it was the current PPP government that discontinued the annual subventions to EPATG. The government has instead doled out funding to other smaller Afro-Guyanese organizations, with many of them being newly formed with close ties to the government. Mr. Nandlal has also taken issue with Mr. Alexander telling the International Forum that ancestral lands in Guyana are being disposed. The Attorney General argued that the concept of ancestral lands has only emerged recently. However, he said the government has taken steps to regularize many of those historical ancestral lands.
Today, our government is regularizing Anne's Grove, a slave village without title. They have been living there for 440 years. 440 families will get transports before the end of this year. For 450 families will get titles at Anne's Grove. Regularized under this government. Our government, Afro-Guyanese.
The UN Forum on People of African Descent is ongoing at the United Nations. Guyana's Minister of Labour, Joe Hamilton, is representing the government at the meeting. The Natural Resources Ministry, along with the Guyana Gold Board and the Guyana Georgian Mines Commission, has issued a reminder to the public that only individuals or entities holding a valid gold dealer's license issued by the Guyana Gold Board or a valid trader's license issued by the Georgian Mines Commission are legally permitted to purchase gold in Guyana. According to a statement issued by the ministry, an application for a new license or the renewal of an existing license does not grant any legal authority to conduct gold trading activities. It said all pending applications for trading license in gold and precious stones must await the formal and official issuance of their license prior to engaging in any such transactions. The ministry has also warned that anyone caught trading in gold without a valid license will be prosecuted in accordance with the laws of the country. The notice from the ministry follows a number of recent gold smuggling cases involving a number of foreign nationals and locals. Just 2 weeks ago, 2 Brazilian nationals, a Cuban and a Guyanese, were arrested as part of a major probe into a gold smuggling operation here in Guyana. In a statement just after that bust, the Special Organized Crime Unit said the 4 were arrested as SOCO agents successfully intercepted an alleged gold smuggling attempt in an intelligence-led operation. SOCO did not indicate where the operation took place, but said that based on credible intelligence, the operation was launched and the 4 suspects were arrested with a large quantity of gold valued at over 30 million Guyana dollars, plus more than $30 million in cash. The investigating officers also confiscated a quantity of electronic equipment.
A powerful movement is coming to shift Guyana, the Guyana we know as the breadbasket of the Caribbean. It's the land of many waters. It's the land of 6 races, all unified under God. Hope is rising, a call to prayer, a celebration of unity and peace and God's grace on all Guyana. Hope is Rising is returning after many years and will feature global sensation Sherwin Gardner and Emran Henry, along with top Guyanese gospel artists and musicians.
These things, they are making me stronger. I come to you with my arms wide open. If my pillow could speak, it would tell you how I weep.
You're invited to Hope is Rising, a global 24-hour prayer culminating with an evening of worship and praise, with Christian leaders standing together on May 9th at the National Cultural Center. All tickets are free and registration is required. Seats are limited, so book now. Christian leaders, gospel artists, churches, and people of Guyana from all regions. We urge you to come together to celebrate and pray to God for this great nation. Hope is rising, and God is pleased.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Yeah, you already know it's your truly Nelly Katoy, the queen of zest.
If you take people, man, clap your hand, boy. If you take people, man, clap your hand, boy.
Wait, Bobby?
Hi, Granny.
You know the Nelly song?
How you mean? Plus, she coming for a creek explosion Sunday, April 20th.
Creek explosion? Which creek? And is who bringing she?
The creek by Splash Main, Aziza Akusa, and his Team Extra bringing she.
Team Extra? Let me call Freddie.
Hello, Granny.
Hi, bye.
What going on?
You bringing Nelly Katoy and you didn't even put me on the show? Like you was a kunumunu or what?
Don't say fat, you're booking you now.
Galan, Granny.
Let me see the flyer. Oh, female dancing competition over 160,000 given away. Plus male dance off for one motorbike.
Music by Bobby Kush, DJ Magnum, DJ Garwin, David Hype, and Papa Feelings.
I giddy up and get your early bird tickets for $2,000 at Team Extra Stabrook Market. Just your size boutique, White Castle Fish Shop, and Fireside Sweets. Creek Explosion, compliments of Fireside and Team Extra.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall.
in the region. The push for slavery reparations is at a defining moment, a Caribbean community official said on the second day of a United Nations forum, adding it was time to step up actions to hold former colonial powers to account for past wrongs, Reuters reports. Enough talk, time for concrete results, said Hilary Brown Tuesday, representative of the CARICOM Reparations Commission at the 4th session of the Permanent Forum on People of African Descent in New York. Calls for reparations are long-standing but have been gaining momentum worldwide, particularly among CARICOM and the African Union. Backlash against it has also been growing. CARICOM has a reparations plan, which, among other demands, calls for technology transfers and investments to tackle health crises and illiteracy. The AU is developing its own plan. CARICOM and the AU have in recent years joined forces in the fight for reparations, and Brown said that partnership put the movement at a defining moment, as they can use one voice to demand action. Brown said together they could advance the reparations agenda at the UN and other intergovernmental bodies, co-sponsor a joint UN resolution on reparations, and advocate for a high-level political forum on the issue. Caribbean-American Democratic Congresswoman Yvette Clarke has issued her most serious criticism to date against the mass deportation policies of the Donald Trump administration. Clarke, the daughter of Jamaican immigrants who represents the 9th Congressional District in Brooklyn, New York, denounced Trump's atrocities against Caribbean and other migrants. Clarke, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, told the Caribbean Media Corporation, CMC, that without convictions and in many cases without even trials, the Trump administration expelled hundreds of men innocent in the eyes of the law to a foreign prison 3,000 miles from their families. Clarke said the administration's vile undertaking culminated on Monday in an Oval Office meeting between Trump and the president of El Salvador. Clarke said while the situation is already severely troubling, she is certain it will only continue to deteriorate without congressional intervention. And finally tonight, international news. According to the BBC, the UK Supreme Court has ruled that the legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex. Judges say the concept of sex is binary, while cautioning that the landmark ruling should not be seen as victory of one side over another. Transgender people still have legal protection from discrimination, the court added. The Scottish government had argued that transgender people with a Gender Recognition Certificate (GRC) are entitled to sex-based protections, while For Women Scotland argued they only apply to people that are born female. For Women Scotland says it's grateful for the decision after a long road of legal battles, while charity Scottish Trans urges people not to panic. The Scottish government says it acted in good faith and will work with Westminster to understand the full implications of the ruling. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.